Aha, there we go, cool. Wasn't sure that would work. Alright, so, everyone, this is GeoWill from Productions², and we're back to do a little bit more streaming for tonight. First, though, I'm going to go ahead and start uploading. I'm not sure how this will affect the stream, but so we'll find out, I guess. F renders, new renders, CTCE, and we want the next 5, so 2, 4, 5. So let's see what happens with the stream. Stream health, excellent. Well, we're uploading, and the stream health is still excellent. The power of fiber. Cool. Alright. So, while those are uploading, that'll probably take around, I want to say probably 30 minutes to finish. Maybe less. Yeah, 6 minutes per video for 4 videos, so 24, 30 minutes. And then I'll also go through the process of releasing them on the stream. One of those weird times we're going to do that. Okay, we don't need any of this stuff because that was all... I was trying to figure out how to get a proper Windows 10 installation on a USB drive for the system I built today. It's kind of interesting, as the first AMD system I built is Ryzen 1300X processor. My mini ITX form factor, so really small stuff. And built it in a Thermaltake Core V1 case. Motherboard was a ASRock AB350, I think is what it was. Mini ITX board, 8 gigs of Patriot RAM, a GT 710, I think, small form factor, or whatever they call it, and crap, I can't remember what the PSU was. A EVGA Supernova 3G, that was it. Yeah, with Windows 10. So, it's not really too beefy of a system, but at the same time, it's definitely better than what they were using before today. They were using a system I had built in 2012. Yeah, 2012. The first water-cooled system I made. Huge case, Thermaltake Armor Plus. Just noisy as all hell. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. Don't need that. Okay. So we were in the process. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to figure out what's going on with this. So earlier today we went through and actually made the level up system work. So now we can buy levels. The stats get upgraded. The traits get updated and added. The durability increases. The gold and XP will decrease. The level increases. And we have legitimately now, honest to God, instance weapons in ARM and VR now. Main problem is here on the parameters and traits, we're still seeing we're seeing the traits for the, I don't think it's the previous weapon, I think it's just for the first weapon. So we need to figure out why. So we go back into the level up, for example. I don't have enough gold. Okay, let's go out then, and let's go beat those slimes. Alright, so if I come in here, so we have this katana. I still have to fix this screen too. We have this katana of darkness, which is level 4. And we have this one, which is level 1, this one, which is level 3. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to level up this katana. Really, we still don't have enough gold. Okay, now we should. Alright, there we go. So as you can see now, we get level +1, durability 5. I hit OK. Okay. As you can see now, it's still the parameters from a different weapon and traits, but this stuff up here is correct. So down here, this isn't updating correctly. So let's go ahead and have a look at the code and see maybe why. I have a few hunches, but none that I want to share at the moment. So this is in the extended parameters. The level up screen is fine, but it's extended parameters that's the issue. Not extended, the expanded info screen. Update weapon select. Here we go. It's we are on. Nope, that's weapon on weapon level up. Oh, above this. That's why. We need to go above this. What is all this stuff? Bank open. You know, we're not even in the right spot. I have no clue where the hell we're at. Okay, weapon list. Weapon. There we go. Status. So this .wep. Is that, yes, it is WEP with an EA. So it's on the params. So, and that's based off of this here, which is this wep.mhp. Okay, we're getting a little bit of the picture here. However, this is also based off of this, and this stuff is correct. So question is, why is it up here working correctly but down here not? Now, if any of this is undefined, this should be undefined. It shouldn't have anything to it because it shouldn't save the values, because we're reassigning them right back into the these parameters here. However, so we do have these up here. To be honest, these shouldn't be this. They should just be VARs down here, not this. Of course, now we have to fix this bit here. Actually, we can do this quite easily. So first we just say, or rather this way, var space, replace it with nothing in the selection, replace all, and then similarly do the same thing. Oh, crap. Okay, I already screwed up on that one. That was one thing I was afraid of doing. Okay, so it's this var space, and we just need to replace it with this. And then same thing with this. Control H. Find var space, and just replace it with this. In selection. Okay. Now, this part's going to be a little bit harder to do because we'll have to just go through and do them all by hand because there's not really any, and there's a lot of thises that are actually legitimate thises. Well, would there be any ones that don't begin with W? Maybe not. I don't see. Do a quick sanity check on this. So this W line, this line W. So no, I think we're good. I think we could do that here too. Just replace the this with the this dot underscore W with nothing. So from here down. shouldn't say nothing, I should say whoops. We did not say in selection. And I don't trust this when I don't say in selection because it usually doesn't do it in the selection even though it looks like it should. Alright, this W with W, replace all. There we go. Okay, everything else looks good. Now, and then the traits are also kind of wonky. The question is again, why? So, traits, this underscore web trait. So maybe web. Well, if web wasn't being updated, this stuff would be wrong. It's not wrong though. So it's just these bottom sections. That's what I don't freaking get is that it's all using the same weapon thing here. This underscore web, WEAP. But for some reason. Actually, here we do want. Damn it! I nuked the actual thises that we need on this one. There actually are ones that we need here. So what we need to do is again we need to say and replace it with. In selection. And then once again, this time web. Oh crap. Yeah, I just goofed up on those as well. Luckily, we can just do it this way instead. So dot underscore web dot mhp. Okay. So that's right. Or more correct, I should say, not really right. On the level up, we don't need to worry about that stuff because we are doing it some other way. Let me just go ahead and save this, and we'll see if we broke anything. And also then we will do some eventing, or some breaks in here to check and see what's actually going in here in these values. And if there's actually anything at all that's correct or not. Okay, refresh, aka restart. Grab some weapons. Grab some golden experience. And talk to the old guy. Alright. So, it's looking right. Alright, so we're going to level up. We're going to level up. So we're in here again on expanded info when we're doing level up. Why is that? Oh, okay, yeah. We are, because we level it up, and then we're going back to the screen here, the screen. So it's showing the updated stuff. $43 and 2. Level up. So now we get 2 more attack. So attack should be 45. Now we should have blind and those values for those. So yeah, the attack isn't updating. As you can see, it's still 43 and 2. Or actually, we're getting 43.75. That's interesting. Right, because it's actually the... Right. So... if we're adding these to the base parameters, which are being multiplied by the... I wonder if... you know, I wonder if we're actually... Let me see. Because we are on level up. On the traits, we were just going through and we're adding them to base params. Are we recalculating the base params though? Or the final params, I mean. I don't think we are. Let me see, what's the... there's a function to do that. Process final params. So I think we need to call this again on this weapon in order to update that. That doesn't explain why this isn't changing, but it does explain why they aren't changing now, like they should be. So once that's all done, call this _wep dot. I don't believe there's a parameter to pass through. Nope. So we'll reprocess the final params, update them, and then get the final params again, which will then update the values out here when we level up. So let's take another look at that. I'm just going to grab a couple weapons this time. Grab 2 of each just because I want to be able to see between 2 of the same weapon what's going on with those. There we go, 45. Yeah, the final the base parameters up here, the first 6 or so. Well, it's, yeah, the first 6 are showing here. Then there's also MHP and MMP to make the first 8 base parameters. Those weren't being updated. These were though because they're gotten differently. But these values are actually from the final parameters list, which we were not updating. But now we are. So let's go ahead and level this up again. Alright, so 47, and we have our parameters here now. So I'm going to come out. We're going to go to this one. Ah, I see. The reason they looked the same is because they weren't being updated. At least the base parameters weren't being updated. What about the traits are there too though. That's interesting. The traits are not showing correctly. On this one it's level 1, so we shouldn't have blind. And bleeding and poison shouldn't be what they are. So traits is still messed up, but the parameters are showing up correctly now. Now it's traits that's kind of screwy. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our for loop here for this. And then how we're displaying them. So this contents width, data for each trait ID, TID and traits. And we're resetting traits, so it shouldn't have the same data in it. Trying to figure out what's going on with this. Because now if I go, let's take a look at what's in game weapons. Or game party weapons. How's the stream doing? We're still at... Oh yay, it's wow. Those things finished way faster than I thought they would. Yeah, stream health is good. Nice, they're already almost done processing. They usually get stuck on 95 for a bit and then they finish. So good, those are mostly done. Before I got fiber, uploading 5 2 gig files would take like 45 to an hour and a half. It's just crazy what fiber does. So we got our weapons here. We need to figure out why 1 and 3 seem to have the same data on the traits. Because they shouldn't. Wow, actually they do have this, don't they? They have the same data. Why do they have the same data? Because they shouldn't. Yeah, they have the same data. So somehow we are... So, that is really kind of weird. Alright, I'm going to go to the weapon... So, let me see, where's our... So I'm going to go to this, one before it, one after. So before we call a game party update weapon, I want to see what the parameters are, or the traits are, on the game party weapons. Then after, I want to see what they are, because I think maybe there's something screwy in the update weapon function that's causing that. That's really the only place I can think of where it would actually be at. Because this is the place where we're updating stuff. It shouldn't happen anywhere else. So we'll see if we're updating it incorrectly somehow, and then we'll see if that doesn't check out. We'll see why maybe it's not updating in the action window or something, or the status list window, whatever that window is, weapon status window. Okay, Tunnel of Darkness. So we have our 2 weapons here. I'm really only interested in these. So we only have 2 13s, which is good. Same thing should be down here. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get rid of that one and this one. And for now, let's get rid of those. Let's level up. Okay. So before the update, we have 45. Interesting. So these are actually updating in here. But not down here, which is fine. But when we go to the next one, what happens? For weapon 3. So that's not changing. What's changing is the traits for some reason on this one. So we're going to need to go to level 3 on this. So that's where the traits get added. Okay, so here we go. This weapon traits. So, game party weapon traits, we have our new trait thing and our new values. We come down here. We don't have them here. Oh, no, we do have them here. On weapon game, it's weapon 3. So, what's going on with that? So, we have it, so it's happening up here somewhere. So, here's where the traits are being added. So, as long as if none of the trait attributes are 0, we're checking to see if the TID in traits, or going through the TID in traits, if the TID code and the TID data ID in traits for this weapon are the same, then we're updating the value and setting trait exists to true, so we bypass this. If not, we're exiting this and then adding the new trait. And then this should be to this web.traits.push end trait. Now somehow, when we do this, it's getting added to. Is it every other weapon? Is it every weapon or just one weapon? That's another thing to ask. What are we getting for traits on these? So 5, 2.5. Nope. So we're not adding them to. So it's only 2 weapons that have the same name. So in other words, it's only in other words, in this case, it's the game the Katans of Darkness that are getting them sets. And again, it's not that the parameters aren't changing, but the traits are, which is just very strange. So let's see. Let's go ahead and minimize a bunch of this. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. So it's not. Let's get rid of that. Let's keep this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of. I wish I could select all these. So what I want is just that, and then this done underscore web. Okay. So we have an ID of 1. Let me check that. ID of 2. So the IDs aren't the same, so that's not the problem. Alright, that's basic iron sword. ID 3, so no, yeah, that's not the problem. Okay, so at some point, somehow the traits are getting stored on other weapons with the same thing. So let me just go ahead and buy 3 of these this time. I want to see if it's just for some reason that one or if it's everything of the same type. If it's everything of the same basic structure or same basic underlying weapon that we're cloning from to make the instance weapon, then we need to figure out why. Alright, so we'll start by leveling up this one. Okay. So this game.web this is the correct one. So you can see we have 2 and 47, which means this is the one we've been leveling up. That's correct. So this one would be another one of those. Yeah, see, it's here too. So why? Okay. So this .web power this .web is the correct one. Because we're looking at this here. This is the only weapon that has the 47.5 on the final params. So look at the other ones, they shouldn't have it. There's 7.5, 30, 40, 30, 37, 43.75, and then 47.5. So this is the only one that has the changes to the base parameters, but the traits. So what if this is because we're storing a traits item or a traits element that's the same for every weapon? So just kind of to kind of explain this here, what if the traits object that we're bringing in from the database, what if somehow that's always being set to the same thing because we're just pulling it in and setting it? Maybe we have to build it in the game instance in order for it to not have that linkage and then not change for everything. I don't know why that would be the case, because JavaScript doesn't do references really. That's like the only thing I can think of at the moment. So if you look at this, we have param traits. So we're going through looking at, or we have these params, looking at our traits, and we're pulling out the traits values to set up our lists. The base params, well, base params is being pulled from base params, so that's nothing new. Yeah, base params, traits. So that's the same for for everything. So if that's happening, then this should be changing too. Something else is going on. Let's see. How are we building the traits down here? So var1, this open traits at length, traits I1 equals this dot underscore wep underscore dot underscore traits I1. So every trait element in traits we're pulling out and putting into from the wep, we're putting into this temporary traits list that we made up here. So new traits is level bonuses. This dot wep dot level. So I'm going to try something. Down here, I just want to go this underscore wep dot traits. I just want to null it out. And see what happens. Didn't really need to get that many weapons, but so what? More the merrier, I say. Okay. See what's going on with this, and then I'll do the publish the videos. All right. So okay, it's coming down here. So traits should now be nothing, which is fine. What is it on the next one? Now see here, traits still has stuff in it. Oh, we haven't updated the traits yet. Never mind. True. We're not at that level yet. But the traits didn't update there, as you notice. They didn't become 0. If they're being updated, if everything's being updated from the same place, then that would be, these would be wiped out. They're not though. These are still here. So this is fine. But again, we're not, well, yeah, we're not going through this, though, which is different. For whatever reason. This is somehow different. Once we go through this, I believe it's going to be on this one. We'll see that they actually have everything. Continue. And the last level. Alright, so before this assignment, traits is nothing. And this traits is still what it is. So we go after that assignment. This traits is 1. This is still the same. Okay. And now this is not different. That's interesting. Okay, continue. Traits is an array of nothing. This traits is still there. So that's interesting. That's different. Obviously we just wiped out all the traits from that, but that's an interesting thing. So what is traits supposed to be? Traits is supposed to be an array. Maybe, oh, what if we're setting it to an object here? So traits is supposed to be an array, but we are, well, what we're doing here is we're getting the individual traits and we're loading them into, so why not just do it this way? I think that was left over from something else that I was doing before. So we just get all the traits. So just traits equals traits. I will have to change this in the actual editor though. Crap. Alright, not too big a deal. Just gotta change this to this. Move the I1, then remove the for loop. Let's see what happens this time. Catastrophe. Okay. So, not that one, this one. Level up. Okay. Level up. Okay. Level up. Okay. So now we have 6 here. And then we have 6 here. So yeah, no. Somehow, when we use this weps traits.push and trait. This dot TID value plus equals new traits and TID value. I mean, I don't see. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. So 5, 0 to 5, but level is 1. Does that reflect back up here? Yes, it does. And look at this, the XP is the same too. Well, actually, no, it would be because it's the same cost. Well, we don't have enough gold now. Let me go grab some more gold. So 283.95. Well, it would be the same. It wouldn't be the same now as if I spent it on this one. So 283.295. Yeah, that's different. Well, actually, no, it's not. Look at this. 284.603. $286.249. It's adding to this. What the hell? And subtracting from this. Wow. Maybe let's. Is there something in the? Something in this maybe. The level up window that's doing this. Weird. Well, we'll leave that aside and I'll take a look at it maybe tomorrow morning before I start streaming and see if I can't decipher what the frack is going on with that. So those are done. Pretty sure those are done processing now. Yeah. So we need to do the thumbnails for those and close that. I don't have Photoshop open. Very well. Also, we'll need Vegas. I think I've done this once before a while ago, but I'm going to do it again, just because I'm streaming right now and it just happens to be happening right now. So you get a front row seat. Let's go to the last one. To be honest, this didn't come out as well as I thought it would once it gets shrunken down to the size of the thumbnails on YouTube because they're so bloody small. The text isn't big enough. You can kind of make it out a little bit, but it could have been a lot. It could have been done. This could have been. It could have been better if this text was a lot bigger than this. Oh yeah, we went over to the next row of icons. So we are on 15 to 19. Okay, gotta find a space here. It's probably about as good as any. Maybe get one with a, oh wait, there, that's, where's, come on, no, get back here, there. Get some sort of good action scene in there, as opposed to a talking scene. That one actually probably will be pretty good for that. Sometimes you just find the first thing you click on is good. Working as that as one of the trailer scenes. If you watched the trailer. Let's see, do we have another trailer scene in here? I think it's just after this one, so it might be for next week's videos. That one will work. Okay. So I have our 5 screen captures for this one. So first we're going to line these up. Line them all up, because if we don't line them all up and you do a crop, it'll crop every single one of them where they're at. So I want to line these up first. That way. No clue how we get these like white edges for it. I think it's just like the very edge of the canvas that's showing through transparent pixels, but it's just annoying. So you have to like check the edges a couple times to make sure you got the right spot. And when you have lighter colored backgrounds, it becomes a lot harder to see them. Okay. Alright, looks good. Let's go ahead and show all these again and see. Crop them. Alright. Now the fun part. Need to do our my sharpening action down here to make these a little bit less pixelated. Stop. But it does make some of these look a little bit weird. At least when they're small, when they're blown up like this, they are. When they're shrunken down to the thumbnail size on YouTube, they look a little bit clearer. So it's like literally like this or something like that small. Maybe a bit smaller. Actuality, they are about that big. All right, now we gotta do the text. So 16, save it as a JPEG. Did I not change the name on that? I think I did. Bollocks, I didn't. Oh no, I saved over this. That's what I saved over. Whoops. I didn't save over it, I kept the name there. It should be 16. Go ahead and fix that. I didn't think I saw an overwrite dialogue. Oh, crap. One last thing to do. Keep forgetting about having to do this a little bit. Oh. It's like, why isn't that moving? I'll need to reduce 16, and I think 17 too. Alright, so let's go ahead and reduce 16. And then 17. Alright. Go away. Layer style. Nobody wants you. Right. Let's see. And the last one. 20. Alright. Then the part that's kind of annoying. I have to grab some of the information from the previous set of videos. Usually just the tags. I call this part annoying because while it's quicker to do it this way, for whatever reason, if I don't do this fast enough and Chrome decides to time out the page, I can't do it this way, but doing it this way is also a very slightly moderate chance that I end up publishing like one of them and before another one's. Like, for example, I publish 17 before 16, so it screws up the playlist ordering. So I have them by ordered by publish date on the auto add. So Chrono Trigger. Part 16. Okay. I was never able to do it this way before because they wouldn't upload fast enough. I'd have to go in and do each one individually on their own editing page. But now that I have the fiber going, I can upload these things pretty quick. Get them turned around much quicker. Alright, then we need the thumbnails, which are in G. Underneath custom thumbnails, active projects. And yeah. Alright, set this to public. Wait for the draft to be saved and then publish. And then trying to click on anything while it's collapsing the friggin' thing. So I think this will be the end of the stream. I'm just gonna need to go through and figure out what's going on with the with that whole thing. 'Cause that's shouldn't be adding stuff to other ones and like that. It's just I have no clue what is going on. It's got to be something somewhere though. So we'll find it eventually. It's a complicated plugin with some complicated code, so it's not surprising there's just kind of an issue in there. Once you get to a certain amount of complexity, these kinds of bugs are much more likely to happen. Alright, let's verify that we got the... So, yep, and yep, okay. Those are good. So, thanks for watching the stream if you did so live. If you are watching on YouTube afterwards, appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Well, let's see. Maybe, maybe not. I might stream tomorrow morning, I might not. It depends on how much time I spend on trying to track down that issue. If I don't do any streaming by 8:30, then I probably won't be doing any streaming tomorrow at all. So, something just to keep in mind. But until then, I will see you next time.